How to get your first wholesaling deal by cold calling. What is up, guys? Zach in here.
Rick in here.
And in today's video, we're going to show you exactly how to get your first deal by cold calling and the exact scripts, steps, and everything you need to know about getting your first deal when you're cold calling. Guys, we're excited about this. We're excited to share exactly how to start doing this because I'm telling you right now, the best way to get your first deal, hands down, is cold calling. Now, I know a lot of you guys feel like the next flashiest marketing thing is going to be the way to get your first deal, but what I can tell you is the basics is what's going to help you get the most success possible in your wholesaling business. And when it comes to getting your first deal, you got to keep it simple, right?
Yeah, and guys, keep in mind, cold calling's been around forever. And other than some of the technical changes on it, for the most part, it's still a tried and true method, and I don't think it's ever going to go away.
I agree. So before we're going to do it, guys, before we share exactly the blueprint on getting your first deal cold calling, do us a favor and smash that like button and subscribe, get the most free value from us, and let's get into it. So cold calling, tried and true system. It's not the most fun thing in the world for a lot of people, but in my opinion, it's really fun for me. When you're trying to get your first real estate wholesaling deal, like I kind of said before, people try to make it super complicated. And at the end of the day, it's simply getting on the phone and having conversations with people about them looking to sell the property. Once they say yes, you meet them at the property, or you do it virtually. You get the property locked up. You sell it to a cash buyer or a rich landlord or a flipper, and you make a profit. You get that assignment check, 10, 15, 20K. We are in the business of selling contracts. So the hardest part is marketing, right? Especially in this market. So how do you get in front of sellers? How do you talk to them? How do you actually get these deals? The fastest way, if you want to get a deal like this month or next month, cold calling is going to be the answer.
And cold calling has that scalability factor.
Yeah.
And especially when you're starting out and you're a one-person army, which we all started out that way. How can you talk to the most people humanly possible in the most efficient time? Cold calling, hands down, has every other marketing method beat, period.
I can't agree with you more. So what is cold calling? So guys, we know the wholesaling real estate process. If you're brand new in this business, you don't know what wholesaling is. It's basically the art of selling contracts for a profit in real estate when I'm looking to go purchase a property. If you want to learn more about that, just go to freewholesaling.com. That's how you learn it. But the art of cold calling is basically calling people on your phone and asking people basically with a list of potentially motivated sellers who might be motivated to sell the property for cash if they want to sell it. At the end of the day, that's it. You meet at the property, sign the contract, sell the contract. There's a lot more steps in between that, but simply, that's what it is. The first thing on the cold calling system is, how do I find a list of these people that actually want to sell the property for cash at a deep discount so us wholesalers can make a profit, right? What are the best lists that you have found for cold calling, or a good list in general if you're trying to get your first real estate wholesaling deal?
If you're trying to get your first one, any type of off-market list you can get, code violations, tax delinquencies, pre-foreclosures, any type of government list is going to be the best way to point you in a direction where there could be signs of motivation. And the harder it is to get those lists, the better. The next step after that, if you look in your high equity, your vacant list, your absentee owners, any type of your pre-probates or probate list, that's going to be the next stream to go down to.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, all those lists you can find out actually how to pull them absolutely for free at freewholesaling.com. The vacant, high equity, those are great. Those are like listrei.com lists you got to pay for. If you're trying to get first deal, you don't have any money, kind of like I would go with the first part you said, the government lists, probates, code violations, water shutoffs, fire damage properties. They all have huge motivations in them, and we don't have an hour or two. We don't have 4 hours to go over that today, but freewholesaling.com we do. But at the end of the day, we got to find the good list. And those are our recommended lists. But the other list I would probably put in front of all this would be drawing for dollars. If you have the option to go in your local market and drive in your car, and you actually have the funds for that to look for ugly looking distressed properties, that is hands down going to be the easiest, simplest, and probably the best chance of you getting a deal this month in the quickest way possible is with drawing for dollars, right?
Yeah, so driving for dollars it's not super sexy, but it's highly efficient. You're just going out in the local area you farm. You're finding properties that just stick out. It's really that simple. You guys don't need a course for this. You collect the addresses, just take a legal pad, whatever it is, come back with as many addresses as you can. At that point, you basically find these people, skip trace them, you cold call, you rip through, and you're just looking for an interest level in selling it. This is, in my opinion, the fastest way because You're finding properties that look like they have motivation. Now you just got to reach out to the homeowners and find out if they're motivated.
That's it. So drive around, look for ugly looking houses. Next step here is how do you find these phone numbers when you pull that list? If you want to get your first deal, you got no money, TruePeopleSearch.com is hands down our favorite. You can pay for a list at like SMSAct.com. There's plenty of websites you can go skip trace, but really it's ultimately up to you. Skip tracing, we have that obviously in the course too. That's absolutely for free. We don't sell it. And the next part here is once you got a list, you're starting to call. It's like, what do I say, right? How do I get this deal? Like I got other wholesalers talking and they got this nice, sexy looking script here. How do you actually get the deal? And simply what we have found, a simple 2-step script for wholesaling success. This is where I have the best success with cold calling. This is the script I used 5 hours a day, 5 days a week for a full year straight in my virtual wholesaling operations in my dorm room in college to make 6 figures plus. This is simply asking a seller these 2 things. Number 1, hey, Mr. Seller, are you the owner of that address you have on that list? And if they say no, fine, go to the next call, right? But if they say yes, then ask them if, hey, are you interested in selling the property? If they give you a no, okay, no worries. Have a great day. The truth here is when you're cold calling, most of them are going to say no.
Yeah. So almost 90 to 95% of your effort is about qualifying and screening.
Yep.
You just want to get so numb when you get the one that does want to sell, you skip over them because
you don't want to.
You can become a robot when you do this. But once you understand that you're going to be rejected 90 to 95% of the time, it's actually much easier to embrace cold calling. If you know the truth up front and you know it's a numbers game, you got to get the leads, you got to go through them, 90, 95% failure ratio, but that 5 to 10% are the ones that you are looking for.
That's it. So once they say yes, you're going to ask them these 4 questions. They're called qualifying questions, the 4 pillars of wholesaling. These are the questions you ask if they say yes, that they're interested in selling the property. I don't care what type of marketing, what type of list you do. If you ask these 4 questions, you can figure out very quickly if it's going to be a good wholesaling deal or if it's something you shouldn't be looking at. These are motivation, condition, time frame, and price. Motivation, ask them, hey, Mr. Seller, why are you looking to sell the property? Time frame, when are they looking to sell? Within 6 months, a week, a year. Condition, how's the roof, AC, does the property need repairs? And price, how much they need to sell the property for. From there, you go meet them at the property, virtual wholesaling, you call them up, you do the virtual appointment. We have you covered in the free wholesaling.com. And then from there, you just download our contract we have on the website, lock the property up, find a cash buyer, call the 4 rents, Facebook groups. We share that all, or even cold call a cash buyers list that we share also. And then assign it. We have the free assignment of contract. Then go to the title company for the closing, get that check, and repeat. I'm telling you right now, this simple script has literally changed the trajectory of my life. It's definitely changed the trajectory of your life when we have VAs cold calling for you and me and our company. And it is absolutely one of the biggest keys of success. I'm telling you, if you do this, you're going to do very well. But the one thing I can tell you right now is if you are not consistent with their cold calling, you're not going to get that first deal. Consistency is going to be key. Why I was successful starting out my cold calling, I cold called 5 days a week, 5 hours straight. Now, I'm not telling you to go do that. That seems very extreme. I had such a big chip on my shoulder of never working my bag boy job again that I was going to do anything and everything to not work a 9-to-5 job again. The thing is, though, you don't have to be doing that. If you stick to drawing for dollars, you don't have to cold call 5 hours a day. You could do like an hour a day. The problem is I was stuck in a dorm room where I wasn't drawing for dollars, so that was a different situation. But what I could tell you is if you have consistency, create a time budget, a time schedule of saying, hey, Monday through Friday or Tuesday through Thursday, I'm cold calling from this time to this time. If you do not break from that time schedule and you will make it a must to cold call during those times, that's the difference. Someone being successful and someone getting the first real estate deal and the ones who don't. I love it when somebody goes up to us and says, oh, I've tried cold calling. It sucks. It doesn't work. It's the worst thing ever. We always ask them, hey, how many calls have you made? What's your time schedule? And what's going on? They say, oh, I cold called for 2 weeks and then the rest of the month I took off. It's like, right? It's consistency is key.
So don't try to cold call. If you've committed to do it, come up with a plan, budget your time, allocate the funds which you're going to spend towards it, and then make sure you put in the effort. And honestly, my favorite question is, Rick, how many calls do I have to do to get a deal? Wrong question.
Yeah.
How many calls are you willing to make to get a deal? And if it's infinite, then do it. You'll get one. If you're going to stop at 500, don't even start. I'm telling you, You have to be consistent, persistent, and you have to believe in yourself. Because once you get through the process, you figure out how to scale, you get some deals on your belt, you can see how you can really, really push this market medium.
Yeah, guys. So that is the key to success. That is how you get your first deal through cold calling. Create a list, get a niche lists. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, you're already at the library of wealth of knowledge of wholesaling real estate. All you really got to do, in my opinion, if like you have any questions for cold calling, wholesaling, anything, especially as a beginner watching this, all I'm telling you is just search Flip with Rick space whatever you have. Flip with Rick space probates, Flip with Rick space cold calling, Flip with Rick space like any questions, contracts, anything, it's there.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, this is the biggest library of knowledge basically in wholesaling real estate here, and especially on YouTube since you're watching this. Check it out. Every other question you have, and most importantly, if you have a question, comment, concern, you have a burning desire question, we are the only wholesaling YouTube channel that I know of that will personally like and comment back on every single YouTube comment. The live ones, you can't really, but like any other live, since this is a recorded video, if you have a question, comment it below, and either me or Rick, usually me, will comment back to you and answer your question. I promise you that is our commitment we have on this channel. We are one of the few that do, and we're ready to help you out. It's ultimately up to you how consistent you want to be in this business, and let's get after it. Guys, this is Zach Ginn signing out.
Rick Ginn signing out.
Get cold calling, and we'll see you soon. Have a blessed one, guys.
See you guys.